In a small Texas town, a feud over drugs is settled with a single bullet. The victim is 16-year-old Jared Mazagate. His killer, a 37-year-old mother of one, Debbie Fleming. How could any mother shoot a 16-year-old boy? Debbie admits to pulling the trigger, but says she did it to protect her own son, Kevin. Was she really a mother trying to protect her only child? Or is Debbie a ruthless killer who chose to take the law into her own hands? From her prison cell in Texas, Debbie is about to tell me herself. I'm Candace DeLong. As an FBI agent, I worked on the front line for the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. I went undercover, I trailed terrorists, and I interviewed notorious killers. It's my job to understand the people who others cannot comprehend. West Orange, Texas, April 17, 1996. A group of teenagers come to Debbie Fleming's house looking for her 17-year-old son, Kevin.
Tell them I'm not here.
They are there to settle a dispute. Debbie says the boys are ready to fight, so she fires a warning shot. But the bullet hits and fatally wounds 16-year-old Jared Mazagate. Debbie says it was an accident, but the jurors throw the book at her and give her a 99-year sentence. If she was protecting her son, how did she end up with such a harsh sentence? There's a twist to this tale. You see, this is not the only time Debbie has fired a gun at someone. Debbie will spend the rest of her life here in the Christina Milton Crane unit in Gatesville, Texas. This is the first time Debbie has spoken about her case. She has been waiting 16 years to tell her side of the story through prison glass. What were your dreams when you were a little girl about how you wanted your adult life to be?
I just want to be able to be a good mother and a good wife and have a good life.
By age 21, Debbie is married with a baby boy, Kevin. But her marriage does not last long. So you're divorced and you're a single mom now.
Yes, ma'am.
And Kevin is a little boy and you're living with your mom. And life was how?
We had a good life. Kevin was a good kid. He was in band, he played basketball, he was honor roll student, and it was good. Life was good. It was just a normal life.
You can see the pride in Debbie's face as she lists her son's academic successes. But he doesn't spend all of his time with his nose buried in his books. 17-year-old Kevin gets mixed up in some trouble at school. What was going on with your son and these boys?
My son's friend was dealing drugs, and they tried to rob the little boy for the drugs. Kevin prevented it, and it escalated from there.
It is this drug deal going wrong that is the catalyst for a schoolboy feud that soon gets out of control. Kevin has never been charged with any drug-related offenses. It could be a simple case that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kevin soon finds himself the target of a series of attacks. What was the first sign of trouble?
I can't say it was them, but my son's back glass got shot out of his car. They ran him off the road on his bicycle twice. He went to work, and they waited in the dark and ran up on him with the car, bumped into him. They didn't hurt him, but they bumped into him.
I've read some reports that indicated that Kevin was stealing drugs.
No, ma'am.
That's not right.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you ever go to the police?
Yes, ma'am, I went to the police twice.
And
Kevin was scared to file charges. He felt it would make it worse.
was he really frightened?
He was very frightened.
After the break, the feud escalates.
We've always had a gun in the house. This is Texas.
Debbie Fleming and her 17-year-old son, Kevin, live in Orange County, Texas. Debbie says Kevin is a straight-A student, but gets mixed up in the wrong crowd. He's in the middle of a schoolboy dispute with fellow student Jared Mazagate. There's a series of confrontations between the two boys and their groups of friends over several months.
He was walking back up the 2 blocks to our house, and 4 of these guys chased him down with the truck down the street. And when he got to the corner and was running, they jumped out and pulled knives on him.
That must have been terrifying. Did they cut him? Did they threaten? What was that all about?
They were chasing him, threatening him, and I thank God that Kevin's fast as he is, and he ran away from them, and he hid until they quit driving the neighborhood looking for him.
Kevin manages to flee and escapes injury. This time,
I felt someone was gonna end up getting killed. I mean, as a person, how do you chase someone through a ditch with a truck? I mean,
that's pretty severe behavior.
the only thing I could think, and as a mother, is I don't want them to hurt my son. I want them to leave him alone. Just leave him alone. I mean, it was over. You know, y'all chased him down, y'all done all this stuff to him, leave him alone.
Debbie has stood up for her son in dramatic fashion before, 16 years earlier. In December 1980, Debbie has just divorced her husband. She has full custody of Kevin, but that is about to be challenged.
Get out of the car! You leave me the hell alone!
My ex-husband had started dating this girl from Oklahoma, and she was demanding that I give them my son. And I was in the middle of a car, and she jerked the door open and busted me in my nose, and then pulled the knife at my throat.
Come on!
Why do you think she did that?
Because she was angry. She wanted me to sign custody papers of Kevin back to them.
And then what happened?
Get out of the car!
Because I knew she had a knife and she'd already hit me and pulled the knife at my throat, I pulled my gun out
Never get Kevin!
and shot.
Fortunately, Debbie's victim survives a stomach wound. Debbie is convicted of attempted murder, but gets off with 8 years probation. She is jailed for a year after a parole violation. Debbie has had quite a history with firearms.
We've always had a gun in the house. This is Texas. I mean, I don't mean to justify it, but it just, when you're single women, and there's so much crime going on nowadays, we always had a gun in the house.
Because of that previous experience, weren't you worried about having a gun in the house?
I would have been worried about not having a gun in the house.
16 years later, the situation with her son escalates. Both boys allegedly received threatening phone calls. Even Debbie's mother is dragged in.
My mother received a threatening phone call.
What was the threat?
They said that they were gonna kill Kevin, and they were coming after her. And she ended up having a heart attack and ended up in the hospital.
She had a heart attack.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you thinking?
I'm thinking that they're gonna kill my child. I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen.
I'd be at my wit's end. What was it like for you?
It was like trying to figure out how to stop it without anyone getting hurt. And that just didn't happen.
Things are about to get out of control.
I thought, oh my God, I've killed somebody.
Texas, 1996. Debbie Fleming says her 17-year-old son, Kevin, suffers months of harassment at the hands of Jared Mazagate and his friends. Then it comes to a head. Testimony given at the trial stated that Kevin and Jared agree over the phone to fight after school. Instead, Kevin goes home. Jared and a group of his friends go looking for him. 3:30 p.m., April 17, 1996.
I received a phone call from a friend, and he told me that they had just broken into his trailer house, and he believed they were headed to my house.
So you get kind of a warning call. He said they're coming to your house?
Yes, ma'am. They pulled up and parked down the street, and Kevin grabbed me and he said, "Mama, please don't let them hurt me. Don't let them get me."
Mom.
And that's all I was thinking.
A group of teenagers approached Debbie's home. She and her son are outnumbered. I can see how they might feel threatened, but what happens next is unexpected. So you and Kevin are what, looking out the window?
Yes, ma'am.
Seeing this impending threat
Yes, ma'am.
coming at your home.
Yes, ma'am.
What did Kevin do?
He just basically went into the bedroom and locked the door.
Kevin clearly isn't looking for a confrontation, but is Debbie? Why didn't you call 911?
Two things. First of all, I done went to the police twice. There was no help. And in that split second, I had to make a decision. We didn't have any defense. That door we had was a piece of junk. And so what was gonna keep these guys out of my house to kill me or my son?
Debbie picks up a .22 caliber rifle and confronts the impending threat.
I went out to the porch. I told them that I was tired of this and that I was giving them one chance to turn around and get back in their truck. Well, they kept coming.
Don't you come any closer!
Did anyone respond to you verbally?
I don't remember, but I remember they weren't scared and they didn't stop coming.
Do not mess with you
Did you
anymore.
think or know that any of them might be armed?
Yes, ma'am. I know that one of them always carried a knife because we knew that they had already pulled it on Kevin and chased him. I had heard that they had a gun. I never saw it, but they weren't scared of me at all. They were kind of laughing. Even when I had the gun, they were laughing. So I'm trying to get this gun to fire a warning shot, and they testified that it waved from my hip. I never raised it. I never aimed it. It had a scope on it. I never used it.
You had it down by your hip.
Yes, ma'am.
You could have shot up into the air.
Yes, ma'am, and that's what I had thought to begin with, and I know it sounds crazy, but there was a roof there, and I was scared to shoot into the roof. I wished I would have shot the roof now, but who knows?
One bullet changes her life forever. The .22 caliber bullet hits Jared in the upper stomach and damages vital organs. What did you think when you heard Jared say, "I've been hit"?
I thought, oh my God, I've killed somebody.
You thought that right then?
I thought that right then.
Okay. Oh my God, I've killed someone. And then what were you thinking?
I was just thinking, I hope he doesn't die.
Debbie will soon find out the extent of Jared's injuries.
Do you recall what you thought when you heard that he had died?
Debbie Fleming has just shot 16-year-old Jared Mazagate. She claims it was a warning shot that accidentally hits Jared in the stomach.
After Jared was shot, what happened?
The boys, two of them, gathered Jared up and put him in the bed of the truck.
Jared's friends drive him to the hospital where he undergoes emergency surgery. Later that night, police descend on Debbie's home. They find the rifle used to shoot Jared and arrest her. It's not till hours later that Debbie finds out the extent of Jared's injuries.
Do you recall what you thought when you heard that he had died?
I was horrified that someone that young had died because of me and because of Kevin and because of all of this that had started behind drugs. That it's just crazy. It was just crazy. And like I said, it was senseless and no one deserved to die.
Debbie, did you intentionally shoot Jared Mazagate?
No, ma'am, I didn't. I never wanted him to die. I never thought I'd be sitting here for taking someone's life because even now sitting here, I believe no one has the right to take somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
They just, it just got out of hand. It got out of control.
Despite the fact that she seems to show genuine remorse, it only takes a jury 6 hours to find Debbie guilty of murder. Because of Debbie's prior criminal history, she receives the maximum sentence of 99 years.
When the verdict came in, guilty, do you recall what you thought?
I felt that I was guilty for taking someone's life.
Did you think the verdict was fair?
Guilty was fair. The sentence to me was not fair, but the verdict was fair. Someone died. A 16-year-old boy died, so yes.
This truly is a tragic story. One young life is taken and others changed forever.
It occurs to me that both times in your life when you got into legal trouble with a gun was about protecting Kevin. What do you think about that?
I think that when God gave him to me on May 23rd, 1978, that he gave him to me to protect to the best of my ability, and I love him, and I just want to keep him safe. And if I have to spend the rest of my life in here for him to be safe, then it was worth it for him to have a life. It wasn't worth it for someone to die, but I can't change that, and so I'm okay to be where I'm at.
In the end, Debbie wasn't there for the person she was trying to protect.
Tell me about what life was like for him after this happened.
He received 4 awards at graduation, and he chose not to do drugs or drink or use this as a crutch. He went on with his life.
But he lost you.
He lost me, and I think it was horrible. He basically raised himself from 17.
Do you talk to Kevin?
Yes, ma'am. He's married, and he's bought his own home, and he's doing really good. He has a great job.
If you could do it over, and we'd all love to have do-overs, go back to April 17th, 1996, what would you do different, if anything?
I would never, ever walk out on that porch with the rifle, for one thing. I would stay in my house, and I would call the police this time.
If Debbie's version of events is accurate, and this happened today with the new Stand Your Ground laws, she may not be serving a 99-year sentence. But that wasn't the case 16 years ago. It's too late for Debbie to change her own past, but she can still help others.
If you could give one piece of advice from all that you've been through and all that you've learned, what would it be?
that we should never take the law into our own hands. Because when I stepped out there that day and did what the law should have been doing, protecting my child, I ended up killing someone, which it wasn't my place to do.
You were protecting your son, Kevin. But in the process, your actions resulted in someone else losing their son. What would you like to say to the Mazagate family?
I would like to say that I never meant to take his son's life, and that I know that in September, Jared would be 33 years old, and that every April I say a prayer for them, and every Father's Day I say a prayer for him, and every Christmas. That I want him to know that I've never forgotten Jared.
It's hard to believe that a parent protecting their child from a group of menacing young men is serving a 99-year sentence.
And thank you for letting me tell my story.
You're welcome.
Debbie's version of events may or may not be true, but it seems to me that Debbie is very sorry for what happened. One young person is dead, and another lost his mother. It's natural for a parent to protect their child, but at what cost?